Okay, thank you so much for joining us. I would like to introduce everyone to Chavi Epstein from Columbia, South Carolina. She is a highly respected, highly acclaimed shlucha with 30 years experience who's seen many flowers bloom, who's been a pillar of faith and assistance to everyone in the community. And through her time as a shlucha, a representative of the Lubavitch Rebbetzin, helping with the community need, she has developed this phenomenal workshop that I want to share with everyone today, specifically for women. Is that correct?
That's correct, yep.
Awesome. So this is a special workshop where it's a 6-week workshop and there's only 6 spots available. And Chavi Epstein is going to tell you guys a little bit about the 6-step process that she developed, that having to do with women and basically to help a person, or specifically a woman in this case, to get unstuck and find that inner wellspring of joy and connectedness to Hashem, to God, to the universe, to the world, and feeling wholesome and connected, and believing with complete certainty that God is looking after you, taking care of you, guiding every single step in the way, more than we could ever imagine, no matter how hard it is and no matter how hard our struggles are. Thank you so much for joining us.
Awesome. My pleasure. Really excited to be here to share. And I would also include, if I may, the word empowerment. I think that's a key word for how we can feel so that we can do our work full of life and success.
Beautiful. And one thing also that we discussed is that your program, it's not just like some kind of mental exercise that someone can just do and forget about. It's really an experiential program, meaning you have to use all your senses. It's a full body workout, as they say.
Right. Absolutely. Yes, it's something, well, music has that effect of being transportive. We know this to be true about any kind of music. And the nigun particularly connects us to divine essence. And the more we sing it, the more we get involved, the more it takes us there. And sometimes we can have a few blocks that present themselves, and this workshop is about overcoming those blocks, both internal, different things that are going on inside us, and also musically to be able to access the nigun. Sometimes people have said to me the nigun is perhaps unreachable because it's so deep and it's so perfect that sometimes a person can have a hard time finding their own personal connection to a nigun. And what music arrangement I find does is that it creates a bridge between the person and the nigun and allows one to find their personal in to the nigun, so that it all of a sudden starts to relate to them personally through the rhythm and the harmony and the texture. All this kind of like taking a diamond ring. If you just see a diamond in the tissue paper, it's not as exciting as when you actually put it in a beautiful setting. Then the ring and the diamond become out of this world. So,
and who is this workshop for? Who would potentially benefit from such a workshop?
It has obviously a lot of potential for a lot of people, but I would say girls who are dating and who are really trying to center themselves, or perhaps mothers who are single mothers, who need to have more strength and empowerment in the challenging job of raising a child on their own, or more than one, or for women who are really looking to make their connection with God real in their lives. They kind of know it intellectually and it's what they want and they hope for, but they haven't yet learned how to experience connecting the dots so that they feel it and they really can incorporate Hashem moment to moment.
Awesome. So anyone hearing, anyone watching, if you fit the description. If you're a woman who has any sort of single girl, or if you're a single mother, different issues that you're looking to work through, you may want to consider doing this workshop. And now I'm really excited to kind of dive into the 6 steps of the workshop. But before we do that, for our viewers, what is a niggin? Not everyone knows what a niggin is. Maybe you could start a little bit about explaining what a niggin is, what the role of music is in spirituality.
Sure. Sure. Well, perhaps what I'll do is I'll just share my own personal experience with the first time I came across a niggin. I grew up in a home full of all different kinds of music, all the different genres, and I spent a lot of time listening, dancing, just really being involved with music. And at the age of 9, the Chabad Rebbetzin Dusya Vogel, brought over a record in those days to our home and said, here, she handed it to my mother and she said, here, this is from my grandfather, some of the music that he wrote. And we put it on, and immediately I wouldn't have been able to articulate it because I was too young, but I felt everything else was in one category. All the other different kinds of music from all over the world was all about self and me. And the niggin was completely going in a different direction, and I felt it immediately. So a niggin is actually God himself in the tune, in the melody. It's an amazing concept. It takes a Rebbe to identify what a niggin is. We have so many different Jewish songs, and they're all holy in their own ways, but a niggin is very specific. And it therefore allows us to travel and transcend and really go to different heights, even to the point of being able to bring out a part of our soul that normally is not able to be accessed. And through this, we can really grow in our daily life if we learn to tap into the niggin and use it.
Wow, that's powerful.
It is. It's very powerful. It's definitely helped me in my work with the community here. The reason why I got into this workshop, I don't think I shared this with you, is because I got to the point where our 9 children had all left home to get their Jewish education, and it was a huge empty space. But I followed the directive of the Rebbe to really go into our wellsprings and pull out the joy. And I realized for me it was going to be through music, and I found it to really work. I really felt very energized and joyful, and was able to start sharing that with women in my community, and then eventually women around the country and around the world, to be able to share the energy that this offers.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I feel very blessed, very, very blessed for the education of it and the experience of it, and certainly to be able to help as many women as possible have the same experience.
Awesome. So can you tell us a little bit about the 6-step program and how the program starts? Maybe you can tell us about how the person identifies the goals, what they're trying to accomplish, or how does the program work? Maybe you can tell us a little bit about that.
Right. Well, we go piece by piece, starting from our low point, and it's helpful to identify what it is that we are challenged with specifically. I mean, many of us have many daily challenges, but there's usually 1 or 2 really key things that a person is working with in their life at any point. And that sometimes can really get us to feel that we can't progress. It kind of can make us feel stuck, maybe numb, and then we can reach a point. The first step in the workshop is all about allowing this to just come out and express itself, sometimes with tears, sometimes in writing, just to really know what it is that we are struggling with, be very clear on it. And that is the outpouring of the soul. That's the first step.
Wow. And so what is that? What is the goal of that first step?
The goal of the first step is to reach out, is to go beyond ourselves once we know what it is and actually communicate it to God. And you're asking for help at that point, reaching out. And, just like any illness, you have to know what the diagnosis is before you can be cured. This is the step of realizing, oh my gosh, there's something really here that I need to deal with, and I need to ask help for, and I want to do something. I want to do something. I don't know what it is yet, but I want to do something. It's that. Yeah.
you need to do something. A person feels like they have to do something. They just don't know what.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Got it. Okay, so a person that say recognizes their issue or recognizes there's something's not right, and they want to. First thing they need to do is they have to ask. They need to ask for help. What about after that? What's the next step?
Well, when you've expressed that and you've kind of unburdened yourself, as it were, the next step, the Hisoros, is that you realize you're not the center of everything. Yes, I have a challenge. Yes, I have a problem, but it's not really about me. There's something. There's God's presence there, and you want to explore that. It's an awakening of what is this? What is that? What is this all about? And actually, in my workshop, use the Nigun, which really helps me understand the idea of a mission in life, is Shamil's Nigun. The one that the Rebbe taught with Shamil, who was a real live person who actually existed and was captured by the Russian government, who found him a nuisance, put in a tower, and in the tower he longs to be back with his bandsmen, free, ruling the mountains, but he's stuck there. So this is the expression of longing and knowing that one day he will somehow get out and get back to the mountains. And the Rebbe explains that this is us. This is our story, because our soul starts off in the heavens, completely free, completely in God's light, just totally worry and burden free. And then it's thrust into this body that doesn't always want to listen to what the soul wants. So it's trapped in this tower. And just like a flame that always wants to go back to its source, which is under the sun, the soul constantly wants to leave. And the only reason why the soul is in anybody's body is because God is standing there saying, no, this soul has to stay in this body. You've got a mission. There's something I want you to do here. So you're waking up to this purpose, that there's a reason you're here, and God is very much present in keeping you here, and you want to know more, leads you to want to know more.
Wow, that's powerful.
Yeah, because every person, not everybody knows this, but every single person has a unique mission that no one else can do. You know, on the one hand, we all have the 613 Torah, the commandments that we're bound by, and on that level, you know, we've all been given those equally, but there's a uniqueness about each Jew that they have a particular mission in this world that is only for them and no one else. And I think a lot of people sometimes miss that and miss how important they truly are.
Sounds very empowering.
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes each person so special.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So we have step number one, where a person acknowledges, to recap, person acknowledges there's something going on, they don't know what it is, they reach out to Hashem, they reach out to God, they pray, they put themselves out there and say, put that energy out into the universe, as they say, the universe, world, God, I need help.
Yeah.
Second step is a person humbles himself. Right? It's like to awaken himself, to try to find that real awakening from within, goes through that process. What's the third step?
The third step is an enlivenment of your inner self. So you want to take something that you're already inspired with intellectually, that you know is good, that you know is right, that you've been intrigued by, and you want to now connect to it emotionally. So you want to join your head and your heart. And that is his pilus. You want to really feel something very deeply that's a truth. And I share in the workshop that something that's always really, really inspired me is the value of every single Jew. This concept that we really were a treasure. And the Rebbe first explained when he became the Rebbe in that very first mimer of Vasilagani, he said to us that if we would really only understand our value, that is what would empower us to do the mission in life. So it's very contingent. Understanding how precious we are and valued we are is what's going to empower us to really get on with our own personal mission.
So powerful. For anyone watching this, if you just strongly consider how valuable you are, and how much more valuable you are than you think you are.
Yeah.
And how infinitely valuable you are, or even finitely, how special you are, that is a huge step, at least for me personally in my life. has been a big way to really break through and to go to those greater heights that I've always wanted to go to. Just simply changing the way I think about myself and
right. Right, and it's even easier than that. It's not only about change, because obviously you undergo some change doing this, but it's the realization of what you really are inside to begin with. That's really the key.
As an identity.
It's not like you have to, yes, it's your inner identity, and that the challenges that we all feel, this is Goddess, this is part of our work here, that we do have challenges and blocks and feelings and all sorts of things that happen to us to kind of cloud that connection. But our work, our job, part of being Dir B'Tachtonim and really bringing God right down here is to unclutter. You know, we have this great trend of uncluttering our homes, uncluttering our offices and our cars and our minds. Now we're uncovering our soul. This is really the work of the Nigunim.
Wow, beautiful. So after a person has basically is alive and feels their identity, realizes it's beyond their actions or behaviors, it's just who they are, and they're in touch with that, which is a tremendous excitement, leads to incredible levels of feeling. What's step number 4?
So then you walk right into reality, which is, that's always there, that we are not always in tune with, which is God is 100% there for us at any time, at any moment. You know, the Hasidic concept that creation of the world is happening at every single second, all over again. When you are in that moment, knowing that God is right there, that is total empowerment. And we call this Devekus. The connection where it's not just in the mind, but it's an experience, it's a sensing, and it brings a lot of joy with it. But this idea and this conviction that we're one with Hashem and that Hashem is right there for us is so essential to be able to feel. So that is our 4th step. That's what we do.
Wow, that's very powerful. In other words, after the person's reached that step where they're in touch with their identity, this basically enhances that experience, if you will, through it's a stronger intellectual connection, which leads to a stronger emotional connection.
Right.
A person is really completely in that attachment. It's just attached to that experience.
You actually experience it, exactly. And if I may share one of the stories, that a woman from my community who is a musician, was a concert pianist and a judge, and shares my love of Nigunim, became very sick one day with anxiety, actually suffered trauma as a child, and it was all coming back to her. She had to be hospitalized. She said that even to the point where she would be on the floor in fetal position out of fear and anxiety. So we connected and sang Nigunim together, and after we sang this one, which is actually the Beinani, that's the one I pick for this level of Devekus, which is a Devekus Nigun, she said to me, she said, that was incredible. She said, I just felt like God was holding me in his arms. So she just totally experienced it, which is what it's all about.
That sounds super powerful.
Yeah.
Wow. So after a person's reached the Devekus, what's step number 5?
Well, once you're feeling it, that's when the joy can really start, like flames of fire, start working their way up through you. And again, through singing the Nigun, which is pure joy itself, you feel it. You just, it's all over. And it energizes you, which is joy does. And it's usually at this point, there are many times the women get up and start dancing. And it's coming from a very true, deep wellspring, as you said, that's within us. And it's just really authentic because we've worked through all the truth.
Wow. And what's step number 6? What's the culmination of the experience?
That is Hispashta Sagashmi. That's the point where you totally see your challenges in the correct context, which is that you're here to serve Hashem, that Hashem doesn't give you anything that you can't do, that Hashem loves you unconditionally, that this is all, a privilege, really. of doing the work down here in this world that you cannot do as a soul up in heaven. And you just completely feel empowered from the inside. So the challenges don't go away, but you see them in context, in the correct context. And you just know this is the Amunah. You just know that everything's going to be okay because you're aligned and completely joyful.
Wow. So this final stage is where a person finds certainty. Is that fair to say?
Yes, very good word. Yeah.
A person finds their certainty. A person's coming from a place of trust that everything is going to work out, that they have what it takes for them to be successful, for everything to work out. Everything will ultimately align. They're certain of it. They're completely trusting to that. And they just need to do what's in their power to get to that destination. Is that fair?
100%. 100%. I think another way of saying the same thing is that now the person has activated their emunah, their betachon, is constantly there. It's within us. It's part of our DNA. But this actually brings it right out and gets it going.
Right. Beautiful. Well said. I think it's to go from that level of emunah to betachon. Right. Yes. To go from that level of where you just hope to you just to know. You know. Instead of, because hope has an association of fear.
Yes, there's no fear at this point. No fear.
At this point, the fear, it's a paradigm shift in the way of thinking.
Yeah, it's been outshone.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's been reframed and replaced with a positive belief system that a person can meditate on and hold on to and draw on as a wellspring to perpetuate that joy that they're experiencing on an ongoing basis, to really tap into that inner why and know with certainty that they will be successful in their why, in their purpose.
100%. And I would like to just connect this to the Hayom Yom of the 22nd of Tammuz, where the Rebbe says very openly that the Nigunim, having them in your home, brings light, joy, trust, peace. And here it is.
Wow. Can you share a story with us, perhaps, of some of the people who've gone through a workshop of yours or had a certain experience that was transformative that maybe you can give a little light to some of the people watching?
Sure. And this was one particular response that I'm thinking of that was such a gift to me because it really helped me understand the power of Nigunim really crystal clear. It was a woman who came to me after my workshop and said, "You don't understand what you've done. You've put my life back in my hands." And then she started to explain, and she actually wrote me the letter. I have this in written form from her. She wrote it down as well. Oh. She explained to me that she was married to a chassid who had passed away 3 years earlier than the workshop. And in those last 3 years, she hadn't really been around Nigunim very much at all. And after listening to this workshop, she suddenly realized how it was that their life together had been so joyous, even though they'd been through so many challenges. And what she understood was that her husband had always sung Nigunim. Their home was always full of Nigunim, and she had taken it for granted.
Wow.
And, after he passed away and life changed, obviously that was a hard thing to go through, but in general, she did not find the same quality of flow and ease during going through her difficult times as she did when they were married. And in that workshop, the light flicked on, and she suddenly realized that the tools were the Nigunim. Because they were so much part of their home, they really eased the way. They constantly aligned the couple. They're constantly connecting them and bringing these qualities of, as the Hayom Yom says, of light, joy, and trust into their daily life. And because she had this 3 years of contrast where that wasn't there, coming back and hearing the Nigunim for 45 minutes, she just said, "That's it. That's what did it. It was the Nigunim." And it was like a blinding flash of real clarity that was totally coming from a human perspective as to how powerful. I mean, it's such a gift that we have in the Nigunim.
Yeah, the Nigunim help us tap into a higher consciousness. Is that fair to say?
They help us tap into God.
Okay. Yeah, basically.
Basically. And that is obviously a higher consciousness and more.
Oh, beautiful. So, if someone wants to get in touch with you, what would be the best way to do that?
Through my email and phone number. My email is chavikets@yahoo, CHAVIKEPS@yahoo.com. And my phone number is 803-237-5685.
Great. So if anyone who's watching this, if you're a young woman or a single mother or any woman, because you only deal with women, right?
Yes.
Just put that out there.
All ages.
Women all ages. If you're looking to go, if you have some kind of issues that you're stuck with, or you just don't know how to get out of a situation, and you're looking for someone to assist you and guide you through that process, first of all, you should know that there definitely is a solution, and you have the solution within. You just sometimes need a little help revealing it, right? And so, Chavi has this fantastic 6-step experiential program that helps you get from A to Z, helps you get from where you are to where you want to be. And she's available for coaching, and she's been doing a special workshop, only 6 spaces available. And so if you're interested in signing up, please email Chavi, and hopefully, we'll do another one of these on a different, maybe go a little more in depth into the nigunim, or go a little more in depth into the process. And if you guys enjoy watching this video, please make sure to like and share and comment. And thank you so much again, Chavi, for joining us. It's been a huge treat to have you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Your process is really awesome. It's really also cool to see how you put this together to solve a problem for yourself first, and how when you became successful in achieving your kind of clarity and breakthrough and confidence and certainty and just overall higher self-esteem and levels of productiveness, so to say, right? Higher level productivity, higher level of awareness. So now you've actually been able to give back to different people on a larger scale, and you see the results that you're getting from them. They see the results that you're getting from them. So it's pretty awesome to see that this actually works. It's an effective method. And it just also makes sense for those of us who are Kabbalistically and Hasidically and spiritually over-inclined and learn about this stuff, that it's a really fantastic process, Torah true process, unadulterated, and it makes a lot of sense to me personally, and I vouch for this program. And any woman out there, Jewish or non-Jewish, who is looking for help, Chavi is your person. I really recommend her highly. She's very smart, very emphatic, and she's got a great process. So thank you again, Chavi, so much for joining us. It's been awesome. It's been a real treat to have you, and hopefully we'll see you back soon.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.